What's up, y'all? I think one of the biggest things that locksmiths have to deal with as far as like storage goes and brass key blanks is how to get the tarnish off of the key blanks. Now, this is an exhaustive subject that locksmiths have been dealing with for 1,012 years. And there are so many opinions and so many best ways to accomplish this task. And you know what? All of them are shit. The problem is nickel silver, which most keys, the brass ones, are the ones that we're talking about. And I've actually done videos on, oh my God, Mount Boxmore's crazy. Right back there, my vibrator. Actually, has stuff going on here. Right there. Yep. Where are you? Come here. You probably need to get out of there, and you probably need to get out of there. Like, there. So here's one problem. I bought that like 20 years ago for this reason. Yeah, it has been about 20, a little over that probably. Don't use it often because, yeah, I could put it in the back room. In fact, that's where I used to live, in the back room, during the video that I posted quite a while ago about the vibrator. It's even in the back room. You can still hear it. It just drives us crazy. So, and I'm using the stainless little tiny bearings, the same bearings that you get in the two. We don't see many of these anymore. I guess laser technology is doing. Okay, this drives me crazy. Come with me. So basically it's just a tiny version of the same ones that come in the 250 count boxes. Theirs are bigger, but I figured since we weren't doing as many, well, actually, you know, I didn't even really think about this size difference. I just saw them online and I was like, I'm gonna get those. Maybe bigger would help, but the problem is, see these guys? So that, is a result of a vinegar soak. Very spotty. And while it kind of looks cool to me, it doesn't really convey the sense that somebody's buying themselves a new key. You know, there's nothing wrong with these keys. It's just surface discoloration, oxidation. And in fact, if you come over here, if you come over here to some of these old boxed up nickel silver Corbin Russ one key blanks, let's take this D3 for example, because it's a very, very rarely used key. We pull it out, and there we go. The first key we pulled out, it's got these spots all over it there. So it's just not shiny and new looking, you know. See, it looks like it is. It's an old key, but there's nothing wrong with it. It's just oxidation, just surface color. So I'd always wanted to replace. I used to have a Rock Tumbler a long time ago. A tumbler and a vibrator is not the same. Vibrators are more used in the world of reloading with the casings of the bullets to get them shiny again. And thanks, I posted this on Twitter. I was like, hey, anybody out there, not very many people responded, so I guess a lot of people don't have rock tumblers anymore. But I was like, anybody out there have a brand? Because you go to Amazon and you see a whole bunch of crap. You see a whole bunch of different things. You start reading reviews and they're all kind of the same, whether they be just don't work great, takes too long. It does take a lot longer to do this. So I am expecting to have to do, listen to it for a lot longer. However, it turns slowly and it doesn't nearly make as much, hopefully, I don't know for sure. I guess we'll find out, but it doesn't make as much noise. Plus, it's a little bit small. It's a lot smaller than the vibrator. It takes up a lot less room. The vibrator, if you don't cage it up in the plastic bin that I have it in, that actually worked perfect for it, it'll walk across the floor and unplug itself like a monster that's trying to attack us and kill us full of keys. And I've tried corncob media. I've tried all that. I've tried tomato sauce, tomatoes, fresh tomatoes. We've tried everything. Lemon juice. I mean, if anybody posts in the comments something I haven't personally tried over the years, chemicals of all kinds, then I'll be impressed. So I don't want to hear a whole bunch of, oh, just do this because it works 100%, because none of it works 100%. I don't think it's possible for anything to work 100%, except for individually hand buffing each key, which we're not going to do. This has to be a bigger process because we have hundreds of keys often that are going to need cleaning up. There's a whole box of them right here that have those same discolorations. Yeah, I could just sell them like that, but it doesn't look as good, and they probably honestly never will look as good as the bright, shiny, new brass keys that you'll often see. Well, how come you don't minimize your keys? That's what nickel silver's for, so it doesn't tarnish, or nickel plated. We don't, for the bulk of our keys, we prefer brass keys. I mean, it's a locksmith thing. And even so, that's not going to help with the thousands of other keys that we have. It's not a hardware store, people. Son of a bitch. There is literally thousands of different key styles that really are just going to always be brass. You can't get everything in nickel plated. You can't get everything in nickel silver. You can't get everything in brass. I mean, some keys are going to be nickel silver, just like all the original keys that we have. Schlage, Sargent, Corbin Russwin, Yale, or brass, are the ones that move quicker. Now, luckily, those move quick enough where they don't air tarnish, and if they sat here for long enough, they actually would. As evidenced by some of these lesser used keys, like this Kimball, this old Kimball that was around way before the new Kimballs were out. Stuff like these rarely used master keys, they start getting this dust on them, and if you don't get that off pretty quick, what it does is it kind of tarnishes the whole top of the key. It's not as bad as fully, because it's still somewhat shiny. So stuff like that I'm not overly concerned about, because when you have a rarely used key like that, they just need to be happy that they're getting just a key, period, much less one with slight tarnish. They know more than likely when they bring in one of these old ass keys, because they've been everywhere to get the key, and you walk right over to your board and grab one. If they want to bitch about it being tarnished, then that's just their problem. But on the daily, like L4s or Sargents or Y2s, anything that gets moved relatively quickly that is already tarnished or spotted up. Long story short is we gotta go try this. We're going to try this tumbler now and compare it to the vibrator. So let me get all those. In fact, we'll just use those Schlage keys. These Schlage keys have soaked in vinegar, and when they came out pink, I was like, well, damn, let's throw them back in here and start vibrating them, because I had vibrated them for a few hours. Now, I didn't do it as long as you should, because something like that needs to run for quite a while. So anyway, Lortone comes into the picture. Thanks again, Brian, on Twitter for letting me know about this guy, because when I posted it, nobody replied except for Brian's. He said, hey, I bought a Lortone, and it's pretty decent. So I immediately bought a Lortone, and then it sat here for a week and a half because we've been too busy to do just what we're doing right now. But my truck's getting new tires and new rotors, and I'm broke, so I guess I need to do this video while I'm just hanging around the shop doing really nothing at the exact moment. Hopefully it'll be ready soon though. So the majority of comments I read mentions putting whatever you're putting in here. It's not keys, it's other stuff. Hey, by the way, we're doing a video on that. And water, because you have to use water with it for it to be effective. And we're going to use Jackson water for this. Is this how this comes off? Ah, boo. Ooh, God, that smells pretty bad. Oh no, I lost some balls. Okay. That's pretty heavy. But a few people have mentioned simple green. So I'm going to soak the keys in simple green. I've got, these keys are practically identical to that box of keys. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to soak these in simple green by themselves to see how shiny they get. And then we're gonna run this for a while with water with some simple green. I need a thing. Oh, those are pretty pink. Let's throw a couple of nickel silver in too. Here's a good example. Not shiny, shiny. Not shiny, shiny. I doubt we'll ever get shiny again, but we're gonna just do 6 of each that are not bad. Some of them, like that one, has some spots. I'm curious to see what happens. We're still gonna be able to see those spots, but they're not bad. They just need to be shined up a little bit. So 6 of each of those. And we'll just go with a couple of these 27 keyway, because these are a pretty good representation of some heavily spotted, more heavily spotted keys. Ugh, just ugly. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3. And that's probably pretty heavy for that. So we'll get out of the way. Just leave you out for right now. Luckily, we don't sell many 27 keyway. I suppose the only bad thing about this is I'm using quite a bit of my liquid. Alright. I don't know how much we need in here. Let's just go like that. Ugh, hope it doesn't foam out. And cap this guy. Everything below the surface. Yeah, looks like it. Luckily, it's very environmentally friendly, which is good. And to top it off, you just got to put some good old Jackson water in there. Took me 3 hours to fill this. Okay. It's very liquidy. Don't leak. Did I get that on right? Okay, and then a washer. Boop, and then doop. Not supposed to compress this too much, otherwise it'll warp. Sure, hope that motor's got some torque. I'm gonna let this sit here for just a minute. Make sure we're not leaking everywhere, and then go find a spot to plug it in the back room. I don't think we're okay, but just in case, we're just gonna let it sit there for a minute. Make sure nothing's already wet. Nope, we're dry. So, well, that's not a good sign. How do you turn this thing on? Okay, it just came on by itself. That is much quieter. And then we're just gonna go set this in the kitchen. All right, it is the next day, but I turned this guy off at about 5:45 yesterday, so it ran from about 9 to about 6 o'clock. And when I popped it open to take a look, I was absolutely shocked. I haven't opened this guy yet, but I think the rotary tumbler may be my solution for this problem. Let's take a look. Unfortunately, this changeover is a little bit messy because you do have to dry them and all that. And if you don't dry a key, if it gets wet and doesn't dry, it's not great. It's just not a great thing. It'll spot up again. Come on. Okay. No, definitely a big difference. Okay, hold on. Let me get these dried off and laid out. The results. Can you tell which one came out of what? Let's get a light angle on there. That was just by itself, and this was with agitation. Look at that. Pretty big difference for just a few hours. And look at that, they are pretty much cleaned up of spots. I think this may be the way to go. Just wish it wasn't so tedious with the water. I'm gonna have to set up a changing station because you can see the difference. That was just soaking, that was tumbling. Now it could have been from that, those may have been dirty. So I'm actually interested to see, now that I've obviously cleaned off those, how the water is going to change. So I'm going to change that water. I'm going to keep that water. And that was water and simple green, like a 50-50. That was pure simple green. There's just no agitation here. So it does it helps a little bit, better than the vinegar. Vinegar caused a lot of problems. And that was a heavily vinegared key too. You can tell that one got exposed to the air. Let's go one more round so we can show that it's not a fluke. Don't sue me. All right, here's the other side just to show. That one didn't come out. Still a little goldy or rose color right there. And then, yeah, it didn't do a whole lot to that. So I'm going to run this through this time to see if the tumbler gets the rest of this clean, because these are in pretty rough shape. I want to see what happens to some of these. You know, I almost want to number them, but I don't want to mess up the keys with numbers. I'm going to stamp a tiny number 1 on this one, and a number 2 on this one. How about a number 3 on this one? There we go. That way once we pull them back out, we know which ones are which. So that's a number 1, number 2, number 3. That one may be too far gone to clean up, period, but we'll see. And we'll see how they do overall. Certainly soaking them by itself, you don't have to spend the money on a rock tumbler, but you could use just a solution and soak it, but they're still not going to come out shiny. Those have a definite gloss or shine, more shine to them. And if I ran those for a couple more days, I imagine they'd get even better. So yeah, we're going to run this all day today. See what happens, see if they come out shiny like those are. I'm actually going to run a few more L4s through it because I want to get these on the hook and sold. We go through L4s quite a bit, so yeah. This is already a few more than was in there. So I guess now we're going to be stress testing the weight. Let me get these counted. I know you can freeze frame it and count it, but I can't do that. All right, we got 36 there. I didn't count those because we're just going to move those on off. I really don't want to clean up these anymore because they're so very, no, we just need to leave them in as a sample. See if they get shinier. These did. I mean, you can tell that one had one life and another had another life. So that's definitely a difference there. Yeah, we're going to keep them in. It's only 3. But then we're going to add a bunch more. All right, round 2. It is like 8 o'clock in the morning. So 8 to 6. And it handles the weight pretty fine. No big deal. It's doing what it's doing. Well, that's good to know that it'll hold up at least over a 50-pound box of keys. Now I wish I would have got the dual drum, because they do make a dual drum that runs 2 at once. So I could double my output with the dual drum, which means I could double my output plus another if I order a dual drum and have 2 running at once, and I'll have 3. Man, I wish I would have gotten a dual drum now. But you know, after you do like a batch of them, like I've got like 800 keys to do, it's not like you're going to be using it a lot after that, unless I want to start rock polishing and stuff. So dual drum, that's why I decided not to get the dual drum. It was like $50 more expensive, but in all honesty, it's not like I'm going to be doing this every single day. It's just a random thing to clean keys that you may get. Somebody brings you a box of keys and they're all icky. Throw them in a rock tumbler and you're good to go. So the end of this video, I guess, we'll be checking it out after yet another day. I'm not going to leave it running. Those are designed to run 24/7, but I'm not going to leave it running at night. So you do have to make sure it's covered with water, or make sure and do it, drain it, clean it out. It's still tedious work no matter which way you look at it, but this way, at least, using you can get a gallon of that. You can buy it by the 5-gallon, or probably even a 55-gallon if you want. So I just bought this little container. It's always more when you buy it, you know, in convenient spray bottle format. But I wanted to try it before I actually did it. But in the meantime, I think that's shiny enough for resale. You know, we'll see y'all in a few hours. Just mere moments for you, though. It's 5:30, and this has been going all day. So we're going to unplug it, see how it did, and that'll probably be the end of this video. Come with me. Foamy. Now the liquid's a lot cleaner than it was before. Ooh. Wash these here. Let's put that right there. Actually, I'm going to go rinse them off real quick. They are definitely shinier. I'm pretty impressed with this. Let's put all these over here. Wow. Look at the difference that makes. Here is our 1, 2, and 3 key. Absolutely night and day different. Look at that. It's crazy. I'm so happy. Not even really the worst one, the number 1 key right there, still has a little bit of different color discoloration there, but a huge improvement on what they were. That's nuts. Let's get an actual new shiny one. No discoloration. Huh. Wow. So there you go, y'all. that would be the way to do it. Rock tumbler. And just in case you want to see the other side. Not even a spot on it anymore. So I think that about sums up that video. Wish I would have replaced my rock tumbler a long time ago. Get you some steel balls. Everybody should have steel balls, right? Little steel balls. Amazon. Can't remember how much they were. Rock tumbler was like $150-ish, $130. I can't remember now. Put it out of my mind. But 8 hours. I can't imagine how shiny they. I mean, they couldn't get much shinier, but imagine if I ran it for like 3 days straight. It'd be really shiny then. But I think you know, one cycle a day is good. So I can put a box in the morning and the afternoon take it out and have another 50 to 75 shiny, newish looking keys. The last of the Schlage that I have here aren't terribly bad, so they probably wouldn't take but a few hours to do. But I have tons of those 27 ones that are spotty. You know, we never sell 27. I don't know. I'll find some more things to do with it. What should I do with the rock tumbler after I get done getting all my keys shiny? The opportunities are endless. As long as it fits in a small rubber container like this. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, comments, or feelings on this video, post them in the comment section. It's time for me to get out of here. So we'll catch y'all next video.